into the Man United agenda. It is Monday. We've had the first game of the new Premier League season. But before we get into the falling out of that, I want to welcome Yaba, Mr. B, and of course, Rio Saves Football to the show. Before we get them to kind of give their feelings from the weekend, and I am just going to do the housekeeping. We are giving away a Man United shirt to one of you lucky subscribers once we hit 4K. We had said that we were going to do it only if it was hit by the start of the season, but we're not that mean. We are going to extend the deadline. So all you have to do, it's totally free, hit the subscribe button, and you're in with a chance to get that shirt. Then for the price of 3 Freddos, aka a quid, you have the opportunity to win a Robson signed, authenticated shirt. It is very much a collector's piece for those of us of a certain vintage and those of you that have looked up your United history. One of our most famous sevens, along with Georgie Best, David Beckham, Eric Cantona, et al. This is one of a kind. Well, it's not one of a kind, but it's probably a once-in-a-lifetime chance to get a hold of one of these shirts, and it's all for a quid. So you can't really go wrong. But, gentlemen, how art thou? Did you have a good weekend, notwithstanding the football?
Yeah.
Can't hear you. Yeah.
It's funny, before the show, Mr. B said, I'll mute myself when I'm not talking.
I was actually going to add
He starts talking.
I was actually going to start saying, I was actually going to start talking for him.
Thank you. Yeah.
Rookie, man. It's the first day of the week. Love me, man. Yeah,
I just want to say, Mr. B,
yeah.
we're going to talk. Big up to you. Obviously, you started the first team management now, and you're building up to the start of the season. Even though the season Premiership started the other day, you're playing a lot of friendlies now, and we're just talking backstage about it. And we will be supporting Mr. B every Monday, guys. Make sure we ask Mr. B how he got on over the weekend. Playing friendlies at the moment, but they're looking pretty well. They're going pretty well. Just can we update about what's been going on with your team?
3-0 win. Much better performance than last week, but the team did a vision above us this season. So they beat our ones twice last year. So we beat them 3-0 this season.
Wow.
I don't know how much of their players are still there from last year. There was about 7 that people recognized. We're doing all right. I'm happy so far. We need a couple of new boys. We need some fresh blood. A couple of the younger ones that we came in. I'm not sure the level is what they expected, or the team is kind of what they expected. We're a bit loud when we're ready. We got a lot of personalities. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think we might have crushed their spirit a bit early. But look, we go. We've still got 4 weeks to get things right, so we'll see what happens in it.
Rio, obviously you're starting to become a bit of a regular here on the Man United agenda. How was your weekend outside of the football?
It was bad. Yeah, and again, I'll emphasize that. Thank you for obviously having me on board. I'm very enjoying my time here. That's without saying. But yeah, no, overall, really good weekend. Really nice travel to Manchester. Obviously, I went to the game. Meeting people, lovely drinks, and then obviously the game happened. So yeah, it is what it is. But overall, a very, very nice weekend. Thank you.
Very good, very good. I just want to say a quick howdy do to Patrick Pillow, Razin Devil, Tequila of the Tottenham channel, who is again using an insider joke. I won't explain it on the show. We deserve better, and Black Bolt, and of course, the legend that is Solo, Clare FC agenda. Yes, I'm calling him out on stream. I don't care.
Clare FC. Ooh.
Rebel, how was your weekend? Everything cool with you?
Yeah, I suppose it was a busy weekend, but we're back playing football and watching football, so that's the main thing. And just a quick hello to Johnny as well. But I did mention in the title that we're going to talk about the goalkeeping crisis. But I'm going to fudge it into a new segment that we're trying out. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Dum,
So
dum, dum.
each of us will identify an item or two items of the game that we feel falls into the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we will have a chat about it. But to set the scene, I am going to refresh people's memories. So let me just knock that off there. So our lineup was Bindayer, Yolo, Delict, Shaw, Dallo, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Dorgu, Mbumo, Mount, and Matthias Cunha. The subs that were made during the game was first Amad Diallo for Diego Dallo, Ugarte for Casemiro, and Benjamin Sesko for Mason Mount. And then towards the end, Big Harry Maguire for Luke Shaw. Just a few stats then to kind of have a look at. We had the higher XG. We had the higher shots by far, 22-9. We had more shots on target, 7-3. They had 7 goalkeeper saves against our 2. They committed 19 fouls against our 10. And the corners were pretty much the same at 3 and 4. Attacking wise, again, there's your shots on and off target. And the attempt from out the side of the box was 7. So I'm not sure how you feel about snapshots from outside the box. We might get into that later. And of course, we had Dorgu who hit the bottom of the woodwork with his shot. And then offside again, as I said, was 1-2.
Sorry, Rebel. I just have to stop here. Don't forget about Ugarte's shot when we were from about 25 yards. We were all like, oh, and then, yeah. So don't forget about that one.
Yeah, well,
I'm saving that for the good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to flick these stats then just across the screen. I know most of you are on mobiles. But then defensively, 22 tackles against 18. We won 50% of our tackles. Fouls committed 10-19. Yellow cards 1-4. And total clearances 30 against 23. And it doesn't really matter now because it's only game 1, but there's your Premier League table. But I'm going to come back to this. And Rio, I'm going to start with your good.
My good. So weirdly, so when I do go to the games, I do like to get a side seat. So Sir Alex Ferguson stand rather than Stratford. And obviously the atmosphere in Stray End is wonderful. It's amazing. But I do like to feel like I'm playing like FIFA with a controller in my hand and getting both sides. So you get a good perspective of how we set up and how we play. So for me, a very big good takeaway was simply our system. And I know that system word gets thrown around a lot. System this, system that. But you know what? For a change, when you see it in fruition and it's coming out, yeah, it was a massive positive. I really enjoyed the way that we played transitional play, quick transitional play. That's one of the key differences compared to last season. And yeah, you can really see what Amron's trying to do in terms of the triangles, unity. And there's a few players that kind of need to pick up on it. So, won't go into too much detail, but obviously Ahmad and Mbumo, that combination needs some work. When obviously he came on for a substitute appearance. But yeah, no, overall, for me, good was the system.
The system. Yaba, have you anything to say on the system? Do you agree with Rio on that front? And then what is your good?
You know what? There's not no brotherhood thing going on, but I always seem to agree with Rio. There's going to come a day we're going to bump heads, but at the moment I'm full on board with what he's saying. Yeah, just to add to what he was saying, obviously he's got a great seat. You can see how things have panned out. He's probably more qualified than all of us watching Sky Sports when he's going to the games as well. So it's great to have you on and telling us about your view of things. But for me, I agree. The system is really exciting to see that we're competing. We didn't, fold over, and there weren't sort of size in the crowd. We were really on the game. Just going to highlight a player regarding good, 2 players, and it'd just be the 2 debut guys with Mbeumo and Cunha. I felt that when we're playing out from the back, sometimes teams can set traps for you. But if you play a longer ball, it gets held up because these guys, they might not look the tallest, but they're strong as oxes and they hold up the ball really well. And that just gives us another dynamic now where we can start playing out from phase 1 straight to phase 2, phase 3, hitting Bremer in the corners. And he seems to have that Salah kind of build where he can just hold off a defender and we can start playing from there. So I really enjoyed that factor. That gives us an extra dynamic going forward for the season.
And of course, Mr. B, you're good.
The fact that we actually played a style of football that I was happy with. We lost. I get we lost, and football's all about results. But considering everything we saw last year, to see understanding, and this is what I was talking about in pre-season. You see little bits. Obviously, I'm more manager side, coach side of it. You see little things that had changed, and I understand trying to explain to people things without them seeing it is a bit hard. So the performance, mine was the performance. My good was definitely the performance from the whole team, not just individuals, Bremo and Cunha, who I thought were exceptional, along with Yoro, Dorgu. Sorry, I just need to ask, who do you think our worst player was yesterday?
Brendir.
Apart from Bayinde, that's obvious. Outfield player.
Ogate for me. I felt he frustrated me a few times, but I thought everyone played pretty decent. But for me, Ogate, I only came on 65 minutes, but I wasn't really happy with what he produced.
Okay.
I'd say, without saying Ugarte, because that is, I would have said Ugarte. I'd actually say, and he didn't play bad. I just think in comparison to his compatriot in his similar role, I thought Mbeumo were as good as what has been made out. He weren't bad. I'm not saying he was bad, but in terms of Cunha was the shining light. So because they're both in the 10, out of contrast, I think Cunha was incredible. Mbeumo was good, but not sensational. But early signs were promising.
Here, but before we stray onto the bad and the ugly, I suppose I'll throw in my good.
Yes, please.
And what I do like is the spikiness and the no time for BS from Matthias Cunha. When that Arsenal fool was rolling around on the ground, he wasn't having it. He was in there. And when he gets mad, by God, does he go on runs. Did you see when he blew through about 4 or 5 of these flatland cannon-loving yahoos? That man is going to be entertainment for the entire season. And I think once we get him consistently in his 10th spot, once Seshko actually kind of establishes himself and gets up to fitness, we're going to have a lot of fun watching him annoy and terrorize other people's defenses, because we've been listening to this nonsense from them whinge bags about Saliba, Gabriel, the fantastic defenders. Hey, you're not going to do anything to us. They were shitting it. There was a shit streak as long as the road from here to London whenever Cunha ran. So there was my good.
He did that to Keshi's castle run, didn't he? When he just ran straight through everyone. It was like a slalom, bouncing off everyone. It was class. It was brilliant.
Now I'm going to start off with my bad. There's 2 things that I think were bad. One was Ruben Amorim's decision to start Diego Dallo over Amad Diallo, because again, once Diallo came on, there was fear, there was terror, there was another player that they were absolutely petrified of when they attacked. So I think we lost out on an opportunity to try and advance on them by not starting Amad Diallo. Now, maybe it was a safe defensive pick. We'll probably find out more as the season kind of continues as to who will be favoured there. But here's the other thing that I thought was in the bad category, and it was to do with people that were trying to access Old Trafford. The new ticketing system absolutely collapsed more than the Arsenal defence. It was absolutely shambolic. There was queues upon queues of Manchester United fans that had spent hours travelling to the game that could not get in and were forced to verify their identity to the hospitality office that's on the grounds of Old Trafford. There was bloody goon bags in the home seats. There was one that was blatantly cutting Sky Sports in behind Lego Head when he was remonstrating about some decision he didn't agree with the ref. And I think that is my two bad issues. You're muted again, Mr. B.
Can I ask you about the ticketing system, Rebel? What was the situation with that?
So essentially, people were rocking up the styles. They were going to scan their ticket, and they were going, no access. So there's no opportunity now for the stewards to override the turnstile once you can verify it's an actual ticket. They sent them packing off down to hospitality office. In some cases, their tickets were cancelled, and they were never notified that they were cancelled, and there was other people actually in those fan seats. In other cases, they had to establish that, oh, you're Yabba Forbes, show me some ID, this is you, this is the season ticket, this is actually belong to you. It was a complete and utter catastrophe. There was one person, he arrived half an hour before the game to the turnstiles, but he was 35 minutes late getting into ground.
Okay.
My personal experience of it. So I did have a slight issue getting in myself, to be fair. But I don't know if it's that was more my ignorance and kind of forgetting that they weren't doing the barcode system anymore, and they've changed it strictly to a wallet ticket. So obviously you have to put the ticket now into your wallet, and I've completely forgotten that. So I'm there trying to pull it in. And you simply it made me actually put it into my wallet. You couldn't just go onto the actual app, and then see the ticket there. There was
so you have to swipe the ticket at the barrier, yeah.
Yeah. So you still put it underneath the scanner, but it has to actually be physically added to your wallet. And then, sorry, you have to make sure that the wallet is set to default. It was complicated. So for those, I'm quite savvy. I could get it. I understood it straight away. Bam, bam, bam. So I can imagine there was probably a lot of people, getting to the turnstiles and having a lot of issues with that. And I don't remember seeing any previous kind of comms just to say, just a reminder, people, this is what the change is. So yeah, no, I agree with Rebel. It was poor. I've heard the stories.
And while you're there, Rio, tell us your bad from yesterday.
My bad. So weirdly, I've got two. I had Ahmad as one. So this is gonna contradict your one. My Ahmad one is, again, nothing to do with him being an awful player. I just think his decision making still isn't there for me. It's gonna be there, and that will happen with experience with playing with Mbumo, because it was a purely decision making with Mbumo. There was Mbumo was wanting a 1-2, a 1-2, a 1-2, but it was just being a 1. It was a 1. Ahmad wasn't there doing the run to receive the secondary ball. And then my second bad, and this is a good thing, by the way, I've actually struggled to put some bads down, which is a big surprise. But my secondary bad is Luke Shaw. He's fit. He didn't play bad. What do we do when Martinez is back? That's my bad. And again, it's not so much of a bad thing. It's just,
competition is good, Rio. Competition is good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whoever's got the shirt and whoever plays well. Right now, I don't think we can have favourites. We do, in our heart of hearts, we do have favourites. But if a man comes in and he's got the shirt, even if it's somebody that the manager didn't want, he has to play him. He has to play him. Let him make the mistake. Let him play himself out of the position. He got himself in there. I mean, look, maybe Martinez comes in and plays, 7 times better than Shaw. But right now, Shaw's got the shirt, and he wasn't. I thought Shaw did pretty well, to be fair. So it's going to be a lot on Martinez to try and get his space back. And guess what? If he doesn't like it, that's 40 million worth of 40 million £40 million worth of player there that, come January, if he's that upset, he can go. So we'll see. Hopefully not, because Shaw's only got 2 months in him anyway. So let's be honest. No, we seriously could do that the show.
Yeah, no.
There you go. See,
No, Martinez will come back just in time, hopefully.
We'll see. Oh, we got a new one. We've got a new one.
Are you talking about Prem Proven Tunes? That's Eddie.
Yeah.
That's Eddie Football Waffle. Big up, Eddie.
Okay. I got it now. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, but is there anything in the bad category that hasn't been covered for you?
Yeah, well, bad is similar to ugly, isn't it? So I'm trying to save my ugly for last.
Yeah.
But I think we all know what that's going to be. So for me, the bad, and I'm not having to go at anyone in particular, it's just a general feel I get. We played Arsenal, best defence in the league, really top team for the last 3-4 years, coming second, doing well in Europe, pushing on. They're a really solid side, and they've been together for a long time. I think the bad thing for me is the expectation of fans. I'm hearing negativity about, Luke Shaw, why is he playing? Already, we deserve better. We're cool. I'm not calling you out or anything, but I just feel that we need to we understand he's a quality player. He's one of the best left backs, I believe, and he's gone into this position in a back three where he's composed, plays with his head up, he's got a great first touch. He stood up to Saka really well. I feel that there was a lot of negativity towards him. There was just a lot of negativity about us losing, but a lot of people ignoring the way we played. I think we have to be positive. I know we lost, but when we consider where we're coming from and the steps that we're trying to take, you can't make huge strides forward so easy. You've got to take steps towards that. And we are all encouraged, I believe, the majority of people encouraged by the performance and saying, all right, we might have lost. Marino said the best team lost and all that kind of thing. But it did seem like that because we were on them. You look at the stats that Rebel put up earlier. Look at the game. It's really exciting. I was really impressed. So I'm disappointed. The bad thing for me is that some of the fan base, it kind of, because we're Man United, it kind of expect us to turn over teams easy without appreciating the steps that it takes to get there and ignoring the fact that we played really well. So I don't like that. It disappoints me. Players like Mount, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw get a lot of stick when they could be vital players this season for us. And this is what Mr. B said about squad rotation. Yeah, it'd be great to have Martinez and Luke Shaw fighting for a place. Don't forget Heaven. It's great to have competition for places. And I think this is a positive for us. So I just want the fan base to be lower their expectations a bit and start to enjoy football. Sometimes when you lose, you really win. And I think it's one of those examples yesterday where I lost, I was gutted, but I'm thinking, all right, all day I've been thinking, yeah, I can see us stepping up now and getting better and better. I've watched Dorgu improve, I've seen the team improve in the space of a few weeks and months through pre-season and then demonstrated that again at the weekend. So I'm more of a positive mindset with the way we're playing rather than disrespect, bloody hell, we lost or whatever in that thing. So the fan base, I just wish we were more in tune with the club, and that way you'd have more understanding about the journey that we're about to take.
Before we get into our ugly, I'm going to just bring up a few comments. We deserve better. The good Mbumo and his intensity, integrity, and physical presence. And Dorgu, great attacking play and crossfield crosses, unlucky not to score. To be fair, Dorgu's a different player than what he was last season. He's starting to look like a right proper Premier League player. He's also saying the bad is we gave Arsenal a clean sheet, not starting Ahmed or Sesko.
That's my bad. I'll be honest, that's my bad. Not starting Ahmed over Dalot. I understand why he did it. Dallot's 5'5", and Arsenal's team is 6'7" average or whatever it is. So I understand why Dalot played, but he should have been brave. My bad was obviously the same as we deserve better. I would have played Ahmad over Dalot. Don't change nothing. You saw what he did when he came on. He had the defender. He had Medwaki. All right, Medwaki's not a defender, but Ahmad's been doing that to defenders the whole of last season. So I would have played him, and the fact that he had Jura behind him, who that guy, he's just levels, man. That guy is just levels. He don't look flustered. He didn't look flustered in the game once. You know what I mean? And the fact that now Amrin's got them doing this one-on-one defending. You know what I mean? You have to beat me. You know, he had him up. You had Delit. Man's talking about Delit. Delit had the centre forward every time the man tried to turn. Bam! Right in his back. Bam! Right in his back. I think they're now starting to learn. You know, they have to be brave. Win the ball and get the ball to the rest of the players. But the one-on-one thing is a madness, bro. That's going to be a chaos. That really, really is going to be a chaos. That one-on-one defending. It's really. I'm trying to think where I don't know if I've seen that before.
Liverpool.
One-on-one, yeah? They go 1-for-1?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, listen, Liverpool play exciting football, man. If that's the way that we're going, then yeah, it's going to, as long as we're winning more than we're losing, it should be an interesting season.
So, do you want to elaborate on the Sesko thing? Because you were going to talk about Sesko as well.
It was no. To be fair, I didn't think he would have started. I understood why Amrin said what he said to maybe throw doubt into people's mind. But let's be honest, he's been at the club 7 days. No matter how much extra training he does, comes in, does this work, does that work, he's never going to be match fit. He may understand the system, he may understand the formation. Imagine if we started him and he gets injured because he's not up to Premier League speed. How long do you play him for? Do you play him for 60 minutes until his arse is on the floor?
How do you look to you guys? I mean,
so you know the 25 minutes. I would have rather given him 35 minutes. Yeah, his little cameo. All right, his little cameo was better than Jokeres' whole game. So there's going to be a lot of toing and throwing with the two players. But Jokeres, I said it already when they bought him. He don't suit Arsenal. He makes the runs, man, and they keep passing the ball sideways. They keep passing them. That's fine. I don't have a problem with what Arsenal do, but yeah. Look, it sounds bitter, so I'll leave it.
Just to finish off some of the comments here before we get on to our ugly. Patrick Pillow, I wonder if we're chasing games in the future. We drop Mount alongside Bruno if Meno isn't where Amron is going. Obviously, that's something that we'll be monitoring in the channel as things develop. Johnny Hill is saying it's a massive red flag that Casemiro with no legs was way better than Bruno. And obviously, yeah, big up to Eddie's Football Waffle. Give him a look there. He does some very funny content. And an interesting one from an Arsenal perspective, but I've been seeing some Arsenal fans have been likening Gyökeres to a white Lukaku in terms of his first touch now, after De Ligt had him on toast.
You know what?
Antonio.
You know what? The man played. I know. All jokes aside, this is the man's first Premier League game. I tell you what, there was no way. Did you see how they were tackling him? Anybody else could have scored out the Arsenal team. The one player who was not scoring was Gyökeres. Anytime he got the ball, Shaw put a tackle on him. Not a foul, but a hard, stiff tackle. I thought, yo. And then De Ligt did one. And then Euro did one. I thought, if any player is not going to score this game, it's going to be Gyökeres. They would have not let anybody else score, but they would have preferred anybody else to score apart from him.
Yeah.
He would improve. Arsenal would improve, but this show's not about Arsenal and about Gyökeres. So, we have to look at what Sesko is going to bring to this. He is huge. We spoke about 3 years ago having a short team. Remember, we used to talk with Bath Time about, 2 years ago about having a short team. Our team's not short no more.
You can play it up to him now. You can play a ball to him because that annoyed me because we were playing long balls up to the Cunha, Mount, and Boomer at the beginning, but I understood it like get that kind of embedded in now. So when Sesko's
so who was playing the long ball? The defenders, the goalie.
Defenders and goalie. Like goalkeeper, but Yinda ended up doing quite a lot of long balls, and I'm just like, oh, what are you doing? Like Gabriel and Saliba's there, like it's not gonna work. But they carried on doing it, when Shesko come on, and I thought, okay, fair enough.
It makes
That's been
sense.
drilled in. That's been drilled in. Now
Okay.
you drilled it in from minute one. So when Shesko comes on, you're still doing it.
Right, I am going to move us on to the ugly. And before I kind of throw it in there, because I'm pretty sure our ugly is all the same, is there anybody that's going to throw in anything other than the goalkeeper?
I was gonna say, does it begin with a B?
I'm taking it. Our joint ugly is the goalkeeping situation at Manchester United Football Club, because let's be fair, he had a similar situation to what Raya had to cope with on the other side of the pitch in a United corner. Raya dealt with it strong, and Bindayer got bullied. If that's not a signal, I think, to the club that we need to pick up the phone and get a new number one keeper, I don't know what it is, because we've been talking about Onana for I don't know how long on this channel at this stage. Bindayer is a wish version of Onana. And then we got basically Tom Heaton, who's collecting his pension in football terms,
I would have
as
played Heaton.
as our best keeper. And I'm sorry, but he's probably championship level at this stage. That's mad.
Yeah, look, the thing is, we've seen the comparison there. Arsenal challenging for titles. You have to have a good goalkeeper, and he made some great saves. He was even man of the match, wasn't he? He made some brilliant saves against Man United, and that's the difference maker. We always said, going back to Schmeichel, Fergie came out with that quote saying Schmeichel gives you 12 points a season on his saves alone, you know? And this is really important. If we want to step it up, you have to be strong throughout the spine, and that includes the goalkeeper. And we've had a lot of difficulties in recent years. I mean, the goalkeepers we have now, look, Onana, it's a confidence thing maybe. He's been battered left, right, and centre by the fan base, and he's made some clangers completely. Then we bought this guy from Turkey to come in. Do you remember the goal from a corner? I think against Spurs. I think Song scored one straight in. It's like, and yet yesterday, let's just break this down, man, because I was really upset by this. As I used to play centre back, and I'm a big guy, and that was my only time to say, this is my house. And I'd say to the strikers who'd come to me, say, you know, this is my house, yeah? And I'm going to boot you out like Uncle Phil. And that's how I'd act, and that's how I talk to people. So you come in my zone, in my house, I run things around here, you know? I'm coming through you, and I put the fear into them. And the same with goalkeepers. Goalkeepers, for me, should be big, strong guys that will, because they get away with murder. You're not going to get a foul on a goalkeeper. You got to just dominate. I see him just a little bit of wrestling, get pushed. He got pushed around so many stupid arm. No, you got to come to clear this. Keepers, boom. You remember when Onana punched the Wolves guy? I thought, yeah, it might have been a penalty or whatever. He didn't get a penalty because it's a goalkeeper. Goalkeepers have this unspoken rule. When it's their house, they get away with murder. They punch and clear and do everything. Once you get a reputation for that and be a roughhouse, a bit like Jordan Pickford when he took out Virgil van Dijk for a season or whatever. These are the kind of things you got to do. Get a reputation for that. Suddenly, you're thinking, Pickford's ball. And everyone's like, whoa, here he comes. That Turkish guy, he's mute. He's a bit like David De Gea when he first came. He got the same treatment. And you got to take responsibility as a footballer, as a player, to own your house. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's your house. You clear the way. Bayonne, boom, and come through, man, everything. So people know you don't come and test me like that, you know? He's letting them red carpet treatment, letting people. That's down to him. Gosh. He needs to learn from that. If you're going to be a good keeper in the Premier League, you need to make a name for yourself and be rugged.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And the thing is, they were talking about it on MNF, just before the Leeds game, and the thing, he got a hand to it. But why is he doing that? He did that. Punch it, man. What you doing? Punch it. You know, and it got mentioned. It would have gone, a little bit out. But he's powder puffed it. He's not got anything behind it. Like, absolutely, like, yeah. I don't understand it. I absolutely don't understand it. The only thing I will say, and I'm not defending him, but who was our centre back? Because obviously, I've played Sunday League, Saturday League, and the opposition would always put someone on our goalkeeper. So then we would have our defender or our man to say, nah, protect the keeper, get him off. So who was our man? I can't remember who our man was to do that. I just remember Saliba being in
Mount.
the armpit.
Mount.
But there you go. See, so that's an issue in itself. To be fair,
Mismatch.
Why is Mount being the guy to push Saliba off? So I like to see both sides of it. Being foolish, should have punched it, but yeah, I would have liked a better matchup in that department.
Let's just talk about that keeper situation, because I think we're all in agreement that we probably have one of the worst goalkeeping
Trios.
areas of a squad in the entire Premier League. I think that it's fair to say that was the bat signal going up, saying it is imperative, along with a 6, that we bring in a goalkeeper before the end of the transfer window. That's like, what, 10, 12 days at this stage?
2 weeks, yeah.
Well, there has been a rumour going around, and this one has left me scratching my head. Now, I haven't seen any of the major journals confirm it, but there's talk that we're back in for Emi Martinez. And the reason why this does not make sense to me is Paris Saint-Germain are doing everything they can to get rid of Donnarumma. We're not being told as of yet that he doesn't want to come there, at least that we know of. Why would we spend more on Emi Martinez
than
Donnarumma?
We can't get Donnarumma. Donnarumma's wages are too much. The price that Donnarumma is, the 26 million, probably wouldn't be an issue. It's the fact that he's on 200 plus a grand a week and he wants a pay rise. So it's not a matter of not being able to afford the goalie, Rebel. I think it's his wages that are the stumbling block. The fact that Edison didn't play for Man City. Football's a ruthless thing. They just bought Trafford in for 24 mil. And Trafford's now going to be second choice goalie to Donnarumma. So I think that deal's going to be done very, very quickly.
By the way.
Say again?
City are ruled out.
Who is?
At the moment.
City are ruled out of who? Donnarumma.
Donnarumma, yeah.
So where's Ortega for a City?
Mr. B, his eyes lit up.
You know what? Rebel, please, just cut this hope off from me, man. What I wanted to hear from you is, yes, Mr. B, the deal's been done. Now you telling me that they ruled themselves out, Rebel, just don't, bro. Just don't. Look, I'm getting goose pimples now. Look,
you're telling me there's a chance.
I'm getting goose pimples now. Don't, Rebel, man. Don't. Let's be serious. The upgrade from that to that for that. Don't. I want you to tell me that Man City are in for him and he's signing tomorrow in the medicals on Wednesday. I don't want the hope.
The thing is, you mentioned Donnarumma and Martinez. Both of them, what makes them better than what we've got at the moment is the character, like we're talking about here. They don't have it. They don't have it. Look at the penalty shootouts they dealt with. Look at the character. Look at they're nutters, absolute nutters. And we've got soft, like goalkeepers. Got no personality at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, you have to be a hardened character to be a goalkeeper. And I like their characters, both of them. They've got something about them. Look at Peter Schmeichel. He used to scream at Bruce and Pallister and his back four, and give it all the thing for nothing, But it's just he put it out there. And that's why he built up his reputation. You got to have something about you to be a goalkeeper. You really do. Otherwise, you're going to shrink in situations like that. So yeah, exactly that. It's really thank you. I don't know how you got that up so quick, but that's a good one. But who's that, Rebel? Is that you, Rebel? It's gay, of course. It's Rebel. You're the only one who do that. Yeah, but it's true. I like Donnarumma, Martinez are shit houses, and you wouldn't see that. You never see that on their CV. There's an opportunity. This is the thing that gets me. There's an opportunity for a B team goalkeeper to come in. He's starting. Onana's injured. He had an opportunity yesterday to keep clean sheet and prove himself and have a decent game. Where people say maybe he should start and to get that momentum going, but he blew it. He blew it yesterday. On Sunday. Yeah, it is yesterday on Sunday. He blew it. That's really disappointing, and that shows a lot about his character. I don't see him he doesn't look have that confidence. Doesn't exude any confidence or anything like that. So yeah, I like the idea of being in for Donnarumma and Martinez. Either one of them would put a smile on my face.
Before I come to a small bit of news, I do want to ask the panel for their thoughts on We Deserve Better's ugly. 24 shots, no goals.
Best defense in the league.
Yeah, but you know what? It wasn't. I kind of get where he's coming from. You expect to score at least one. You know, I understand Raya made a top save from
Man of
Cunha's
the match.
offer. Right, so, you know, okay. Yeah. All
It
right.
would take time. It would take time. It would take time. And a large portion of those shots were in the box, which is a massive, massive change. You know, obviously the ones that went, you know, to the moon and back. We don't talk about them shots. Yeah, we don't talk about them shots. Yeah, legend has it. It's still traveling.
I think that shot was in Rose Ed with Salas.
Oh dear. But you know, there's a couple of really good scrambles in the box where it could have gone anywhere, you know, and people, you know, the defenders went to ground and just like real good chances. Like you said, I thought they were, I'm just trying to remember now, but I thought they were going to say, oh, the shots are outside the box or half chances or whatever. But there was some few scrambles, wasn't there, Rio? You were there. I mean, you must have been almost like,
yeah. When I think pretty much both teams were all breakdancing in the box when the ball was just I was like, oh, what's going on, and then the ball evidently just ended bouncing back out the box. I was like, oh, chance gone. But yeah, it was
there a few moments where there was a few sides when we put balls in and there was hardly anyone in the box?
Yeah, and to be honest though, you know where you go to the saying, it's down to the striker to be in the position, you know, the defender or the wingers pull it in, it's not their fault. On this occasion, yeah, the striker wasn't there, but our wingers who was putting it in at the time, they had a lot of opportunity to see that there wasn't a player there, but they still put the cross in. That annoyed me because it was an opportunity to kind of retain possession. Don't just put the cross in and blame the striker. No. Retain possession, cut inside. You've got men on the inside now. But yeah, no, that will change when Shesko evidently will start playing more.
Just bear with me 2 seconds as I pull up two updates from Mr. Laurie Whitwell. While I'm doing that, I do want to ask those in the chat what they think of this format for kind of a match reaction type scenario. Once we've had a bit of time to sit down and cool our brains and get the effing and blindings out of the way. Do you like it? Would you like to see it again? Do let us know. But let's get these quick snippets up there. This is from their Talk of the Devils podcast. Laurie Whitwell on the goalkeeping situation. I've been told all along that a goalkeeper would be dependent on Andre Onana's future. There's been no indication that he would depart this window. They made a loan bid for Emi Martinez, which indicates they're not fully satisfied with the goalkeeping department, but not to the degree where they would spend £30 million. The Donnarumma stuff, that's not one they're going to pursue. There's caveats. You never know what's going to happen in the market, but I don't sense any great appetite to purchase that position because they have money elsewhere on the goals, which was the big point he needed to address. So even though they are dissatisfied with their goalkeeping options, the sense is they probably aren't going to, but you never know.
All right. The first thing I want to say about that is, how's the player having the choice if he can't get sold? They've just bought Sesko in, and Rasmus ain't sniffed the pitch for 3 weeks. There's ways of doing things and getting things done without actually saying it. You get the goalkeeper in, and you make Onana play with the shitty team in training and the shitty team in pre-game warm-up. Move his seat so he knows he's not first choice. He didn't want the number one shirt anyway. Fine. That still don't make no sense to me. But how can it be one for one and one for the other? Rasmus is now being pushed out because they've got Sesko in, who is a better player. Rasmus at no stage has said he wants to leave the club. When has Rasmus said he wants to leave the club? He hasn't said that, but he's going to be gone. So what you do, you get the goalie in and you let Onana see, oh shit, I'm not playing no football. And he will soon find himself to Monaco.
Yeah. And apparently Inter are interested in him. They want to bring him back for whatever reason. So
Take him. Have him. Get rid. In the bin.
And here's update Iver Ado, number 2, also from Laurie Whitwell in the Talk of the Devils podcast, which is the Athletics podcast, on whether Manchester United are out of Belieber. I don't get that feeling. They had club-to-club talks now as well. So there's been a courtesy call from United Brighton to say, we're not going to pursue this one. There hasn't been, a courtesy call to Brighton to say, we're not going to pursue this one and leave it there. Whether it's that they appreciate he's not for sale or whether the price is something that they're looking at. I think there's a point in the negotiations where João Pedro money was 55 plus 5 was raised as a possible fee. And clearly Brighton have said, no, it's going to be more like that. That's where we're at with it. So essentially what they're saying is that both sides are playing silly buggers.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, we've had talking about this guy for a long time now. He is like the real deal. I watched Moses Atuma fight the other day. He's 20 years old. He's just coming up. He's treating these heavyweights like they're nothing. He's walking through them. And people are talking about him as a sensation. And I'm even saying I've never seen anyone, very rarely see someone step up like that who's that good. You know, and he's the hot things right now in boxing. And the same applies with this guy from Brighton. He gives me that sort of feel where I feel this guy's a sensation. The things he's able to do, and as a youngster in the Premiership, he's got the physicality, he's got the technical ability as well. He seems to have a good mindset. This is a beast of a player. So he's the Moses Atuma of football right now. Really, really impressive, and he's knocking out everyone. I don't think he's going to win a lot of his duels. And the fact that now he's started his season, he's had a good, successful season, and he's got teams like Man United after him. The only problem I got with that is by the end of next season, it looks like he will be blowing up and killing the football again, and everyone's going to be after him. So it's a good idea we go for him from now. I like that. And I think if we don't get him in this window, it could be a case that his head's going to be turned by bigger clubs, but more attractive clubs at this present time, like Barcelona, Real Madrid, or whoever.
He's got very good character as well. He, considering the transfer speculation and then he wasn't training due to a minor injury, he got man of the match when he played the other day.
See, and this is it again. I'm with we deserve better. Why is all of this stuff coming out about a player and you have no idea what he's going to cost? We talk about bidding 55 plus whatever. I mean, we already know, we're not accountants, but we already know that he's going to cost 90 plus, 95 plus. People are talking about a world record bid between Premier League teams, which is then you're talking at 110 mil. Where are these figures coming from? If we know that that's the price of the player and we can't afford it, I mean, look, we've sold no players. You have to remember, we've done all of this work and sold no players. Sancho is cucking up his ass with his gal getting tattoos on his neck. He don't give a shit about football. He don't care about football. You got Anthony waiting to eat tapas, sitting down in Manchester. Betis he don't want to go Saudi to nam their chocolate. He's not interested in the lifestyle. You understand? So he's still here. We've got Malacia. We all said, oh, Malacia will go because he's on no money. What is this, the Rashford effect? Because he was Rashford's brethren, nobody don't want to buy him. How can nobody not want to buy him? And then we've got the MF who's sitting down there twerking for Chelsea. Yeah, we already know the deal's been done, but what's he doing? They're going to wait. So that Chelsea come and bid 30 million. I swear to fucking God, if Chelsea pay 30 million for Garnacho, I'm going to lose my shit. Because they've played United. We sit down here and we know exactly what they're trying to do, Yabba. We already know what they're going to do. Don't accept the deal. They skanked us with Mason Mount. You know what I mean? We're now seeing a Mason Mount who is playing better, but it's because he's been able to play 2 games in a row and had the whole of pre-season. Him like Shaw, I'm glad he's playing. I want him to play well. But within 3 weeks, he's going to be injured. He's going to be walking off the pitch, and all of these press are going to say, oh no, he's tried so hard. Woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. The man's made of plastic. You understand? We have to try and get, don't break the plastic, don't bend the plastic.
I like
so
Mount.
do I. I don't listen. I don't have a problem with Mason Mount. I like him. But we're getting skanked, bruv. So if Chelsea are going to come in with this 30 million bid, tell them to get. Yeah, my daughter's sitting down here looking at my face. Tell them to leave the deal and get out.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying to him, get out. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Leave the deal and get out. Yeah.
Can I ask a question to finish up with? Do you end up scratching your head when you have people coming in there and go, but the player, they only have a short career, that they have the right to articulate where they want to go, and that it's not their fault that they have been put in the position that they're in, and that they don't have to take responsibility for reality coming home and biting them in the ass? Do you actually start to wonder whether or not they're a paid agent when they start making these points? Because at the end of the day, if I remember correctly, if you're in a contract of employment and you're not delivering, your ass can be fired. If you're on a certain limited time contract, you're only as valuable as what a player's prepared, our club is prepared to give for you. So if you're getting the uppity and going, woe is me, because all of a sudden the stupid contract that Club A gave you is only going to be 10% of that value when you go to Club B. Like, do you have any sympathy for these rich elitist, silver-spooned yahoos sitting at home getting 250 grand a week and kind of turning their nose up at 150 grand a week?
Well, let me say, there's a funny story about Brian Clough. Those days are gone now. But Brian Clough, he brought in a player from Barnsley or something. This when he's at Nottingham Forest. This is pre-season. Had a look at him, and then they had one training session before the season was about to start. And he said to the guy, "Oh, how are you getting on?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "You and the wife bought a house yet?" He said, "No, not yet, Gaffer." He said, "Good, you're not welcome here," and let him go. You know that would upset people these days. Players got a lot of balance, and they're able to sort of, be sensitive. And since was it Winston Bogart? Do you remember him? He was on some big money at Chelsea and just sat back and was able to sort of take his thing. Things have changed in balance for the players as well. So you can get situations like this where they can kick back or get advice, legal advice, and the club can't mistreat them. Otherwise, they could get sued. So they're long gone are the days where you can be a Brian Clough and sort of do what Mr. B would like to do, to some of these players that are hanging on. But you have to be really mindful and careful how you go about it. And hopefully we will, with the next weeks left, we will be able to sort of get a little money or get a little deal and get these guys out of the club.
I think, Rio, I'm going to give you the last word on this because we have been going for nearly an hour. So your final thoughts on these players that refuse to accept criticism, that are so wrapped in cotton wool, so snowflakey, that they don't accept that they might not be as good as they think they are at their job.
Yeah, well, I think for me right now, it's the thing that comes to mind right now is the Sancho situation. Like, that is boiling my blood at the moment. Like, he's rejecting everyone. He is doing what everyone's been doing to Newcastle, like just rejection, and I'm sick of it. You know, was it you? Is it Juve? Was it Galatasaray? I've lost track of who he's rejected. But just when we think he's going out the door, again, he's holding all the power. Again, that will to play football is gone, and he wants the money. He wants the money. So, do I blame him for wanting the money? No, because it is a short career, and I know that's going back to what you said, Rebel. But at the same time, what happened to the love of the game? What happened to the passion of playing? And people used to say he used to be a street baller. It weren't that long ago. He was doing it for Dortmund, and how has it gone so quickly that his passion has just gone, and he just wants that money? Don't know what's happened, and who's been in his ear. We had a phase of players that he was at the club with at that same time that have kind of fallen under that same category of player that wants that money. Yeah, so I don't know what's happened with him. The love of the game, it's going, and it's more about agent fees, contracts, money, business. So yeah, the loyalty is not a thing. It is not a thing.
Well, I suppose that's as good a place as any to end the show tonight. We hope you enjoyed our review of United versus Arsenal. We will obviously keep you abreast of any developments in the goalkeeping situation, in the central midfield situation. But as they say, we have been the Man United agenda. Yaba has been the angry man, but it is a very good night to you all.